All right, team, back at it again. I'm Joel Freck with my boy
Luke Wolf, and we're gonna talk today about the topic of like being uncomfortable
and how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we're coming to you from the playground.
Yeah.
You can see we're in an uncomfortable situation, but we're working with it.
We are maintaining
composure, man.
And yeah, absolutely, and that's like totally what a lot of even just life is. Maintaining your composure in the face of adversity and like being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like that's so much of what it is. And if
that's it.
If you want to even like transfer that to a social situation, a lot of it is still just that. Like, yes, you might feel anxiety. That's okay.
Exactly.
That's then you're feeling anxiety, but you still maintain your frame.
You don't need to give in. You don't need to lose your mind and be jittery and I gotta go.
Absolutely.
You can hold, like, you're great at this when it comes to like putting yourself in a situation where, like, say you want to go to a party, you want to go to a show, but there's no one to go with. So you say, I'm not going, I don't want to sit there and be alone. Well, why not? If you want to go because you're allowing society's view of you to take over your own program. You essentially say your opinion is more valuable than my own. How people look at me is not how I want to be viewed. I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
That's...
But how you win is by doing that.
Right.
You win by putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and fighting through those moments of those weird feelings, because eventually you won't care anymore. It's those baby steps. And I have an example. Like I did a few class talks on career development and how I've switched different careers and people I know doing successful. And essentially, like, I was nervous as anything, man. I hated speaking in front of people. I was like, how am I gonna, do this topic, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should call and say I can't do it. All these thoughts ran through my head. Will the class be paying attention? Or, you automatically jump to all the worst case scenarios, right? So I said, you know what? No, it's my challenge to myself to go through this experiment. If it goes bad, it goes bad. If it goes good, it goes good. But I'll never know what to build on if I don't put myself in that boat.
Yeah.
So I jumped in, did it, learned from the experience, and then I got asked to do it again because it went well. And the next one, I crushed it.
That's right.
But you got to take those first uncomfortable steps and move in a direction. You know what I mean? You got to step in the snow if there's no trail. You got to get knee high in the snow and make your way to where you're going.
And that's a lot of it. And many people don't really understand that it is going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay? And at first you might only be able to do a limited amount of exposure to that. So for example, if your issue is social situations and you have social like anxiety or whatever you want to call it, particularly
I was bad for that.
A lot of people are, and that's one thing, is it's so common, and you need to understand that like the vast proportion of, say, guys have almost no capacity whatsoever to maintain their composure or hold their frame in a social situation, particularly without the aid of alcohol or drugs.
That's a really good point.
Right, they are not capable of doing it. So the fact that you're feeling this type of anxiety, that means that you're just 90% of people, okay? And the small portion, the 10%, are those who are willing to practice at that. It's like building up a muscle in the gym. You just do a set. If you can only go out and stay out for 20 minutes one night without the help of drugs or alcohal,
that's a good way to practice,
then
man. Work the muscle, flex that brain out,
muscle, man. And we had a guy the other night out with us, just a younger kid, and he was also doing this without alcohol because he recognized within himself that alcohol was a crutch for him. So he was going out without alcohol, and he was feeling the anxiety, and I really had to let him know that him just exposing himself to this environment was putting him at an elite level within society.
Oh damn, just exposing yourself raw to like
absolutely, and maintaining that frame. You right now are winning. So I remember that.
Well, I had a similar experience in just talking about like uncomfortable situations. Like confrontation was never my strong suit.
Right.
I always said, okay, I don't want to be looked at as the bad guy. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But then I got to a point, and I started calling it like king status. You know what I mean? Like, believing in yourself so much that you feel great, you exude excellence. And I was like, why would I let someone, like when it came to management things, talk down to me? It's their inflated ego, letting them take energy away from me just because I don't want to look bad, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm like, if they're willing to get it, I gotta flex my ego here, and I gotta stand my ground, because humans take, and they'll continue to take from you unless you say, no. So what I did, I looked up some conversation techniques on how to guide people who were in a very agitated state to a level of, relaxation or chill that you could actually get through to them, communicate. Like, what's the point in an argument? You know what I mean? So I did the research, and so the next time that this manager came at me, I had a very level head. I was able to direct the flow of conversation while standing my ground. So I wasn't just being taken advantage of, my energy wasn't just being taken.
Yeah.
And so from that, I learned new conversation techniques. So I started digging into it deeper, how to how you influence other people when it comes to like public speaking and things. So it really took a turn for the best from an uncomfortable situation that I was like, why am I being put in this? I'm a good guy. Like, I shouldn't have this happen to me. But I said, you know what? This is a challenge. I'm going to accept the challenge, go into it and see what I learn.
And you have to do that because it's actually irresponsible for you not to do that.
I like
That's
that, man.
That's the thing that so many people don't understand. They think that they're being nice by allowing someone to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
No.
It's irresponsible.
That's a great way to put it.
And people don't understand that. It's like a lot of women do this to their friends, right? They'll allow their female friends to behave in a way that is not really in their best interest. And they'll enable that. Like their friends will call them up and be like, oh, da 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 da, and all this. Johnny said this to me, and da da da, and Janie said this, and mama, and I'm da da da. And rather than say like, listen, you've been fucking rattling on about Johnny and Janie for the last fucking 6 months. Are you going to do something about it or just rattle on about
That's it. So many people love to complain because it's hard to take steps.
And if you enable that, it's irresponsible. So you need to start to practice not doing that. Like, you need to tell the girl, look, I don't mind speaking with you, but I'm not just going to let you fucking rattle on. So that's kind of what you did with your
time
manager.
and energy.
Yeah,
man.
you're like, I need to take care of myself. Like, that's what
that's
you did
it. I need to take care of myself. And it can apply to any situation where someone might be trying to take advantage of you. You don't want to haggle a price for something that you think is more valuable because it's awkward to, be in that kind of conversation. Do your research on whatever it is that, that you find is not your strongest suit.
Yeah.
Because there's great techniques for bartering online. There's great techniques for, meditative states where if you're in an uncomfortable situation, you can be zen and happy with the moment you're in. Like, when you're in an uncomfortable situation, because I get them all the time, what is some advice to say, you want to go to the school dance, but your date ditched you last minute, and you don't know if any of the boys are going, but you still want to go. What would you do?
What's your advice? I would say off the rip, you need to understand that, like, humiliation or being embarrassed or being uncomfortable is going to take place, and that's okay, because these you may perceive other people seeing you as, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter if you went to a party where everyone was dressed up and you didn't know and you came in like fucking sweatpants, right? Even if that takes place, where it's very clear to everyone around that you are clearly
out of place.
What I would say is, consider their opinions a lot like you would consider fucking Tom Cruise's opinion of you because you're not involved in Scientology. Like, if he were to say, like, listen, you're not going to fucking Zayton 12 when you die because you didn't pay attention to the Scientology fucking books.
Right. his opinion would have no gravity
it
with you.
has no value whatsoever to me because I'm not acknowledging that as fucking valuable.
Right.
I don't. It just.
So their opinions essentially would be on the same level of
very,
that's a really good point.
very meaningless.
I don't value your opinion.
Very little value.
Yeah, and actually you would gain strength in that moment of
tons.
wearing and rocking the skin you're in.
I don't think you actually understand how worthless your opinion is to me. It's fucking meaningless. So that would be
if you don't know what the people, just rock it and enjoy yourself. Because
understand that it's going to be uncomfortable.
Right, and you can make it in the best. If you were the guy to show up to the party wearing your pajamas, rock it. Be the comedian for the night.
Do it.
If you were uncomfortable in the corner, you draw in that energy. But if you're rocking it and you're the party master, everybody like, okay, this guy's swag is on 10.
Totally.
You instantly flip a bad situation in your favor.
Yeah.
So it can be done. And just like, if you were the guy to show up to, say, the school dance alone, you now have the entire party available to you. So, you know what I mean? The second you gain the right group of friends, you look like the party man. You're in a group full of like awesome people. They're like, okay, this guy's dope. You might, meet new friends. You might, who knows? Situations are endless.
And remember, it's going to be uncomfortable because you're going against the grain of social pressure. But understand that's what you need to do because social pressure, for the most part, is fucking stupid and it doesn't make sense. Like, look around you. Do you care what they think? Look at what society's doing. Fuck them. Fuck their opinion. It only matters how you sustain yourself in the face of that. Boom.
I like it, man. I think we got a few seconds left. We can sign off. But yeah, so I guess covering the notes here, social situations that make you uncomfortable from what Luke's saying and from what I've heard, go with it. Just put yourself in that situation because it's irresponsible not to. You got to grow. You got to learn to make those uncomfortable situations your own. Own them. So like anytime you're put in an uncomfortable boat, you've been there, done that. You are the leader, the guide, the lone wolf, and you're not scared of nothing.
Right, and you're growing from it. Like you said, and you must encounter this a lot, like being like in the service industry. So people may want to take from you or infringe upon your. So you probably can have a lot of opportunities to sustain your boundaries. But you know what I think is funny is that it would actually probably make people want even more to be around you.
Yeah, by not giving them everything.
You just, this is my boundary. Because people want to know boundaries. Like, the more stern you are at their boundaries, like, this is my boundary. At least then they can count on your boundary.
Yeah.
Oh, I know Joel's boundary. Okay.
That's it.
Right.
Well, that's it. Like, someone makes a sly comment at you, and you're like, watch it, pal, you only get one. They're like, whoa, okay, that's a boundary I crossed.
The, the, like, rapper comedian Andy Milonakis.
No, I've never heard of him.
No, okay.
I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, he's kind of cool. He does a lot of YouTube stuff. And Andy was playing. He's an interesting dude, man. He grew up like I think in Brooklyn or somewhere in New York, like in the ghetto, and he's this very short, like overweight, like glasses guy, and he's a full-on rapper. Like he talks about hoes and drugs. Yeah, he's a very cool dude. And so he was saying about. So he's like, I grew up, in the ghetto. Like, I have fucking boundaries. Like, you can't talk. And so he was at this, like, celebrity poker game, and some basketball player, he described the basketball player as talking to him fucking sideways in some way. And he's like, I fucking just called this guy out, on the spot and said, don't talk to me sideways. What the fuck? And he's like, it's just when you're that congruent, it makes sense.
When you have self-value enough that no one else's opinion can really affect you, because you're doing your own thing. It's not saying social opinion isn't valuable to some extent.
It
can keep you in check if you're getting a little too out there. But by allowing it to infringe upon your beliefs in a negative way.
Let's just hit that. That's the point we're making here. It's not that you disregard all things, like you butt in front of people in lineups and like you talk out loud in movie theaters. No, you adhere to some degree to like
social norms.
But you don't let it overpower you and make you feel less than.
Exactly.
So you got anything else?
Man, that was it. I think you just nailed it out of the park, dude.
Cool, man.
All right, so this has been our talk on uncomfortable situations, how to deal with them. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. See you later.
Peace out.